Okay, so from our last video, we have our basically functioning game. We have our little character we can move around the screen. We have a goal, a little red circle. That's our mission in life to I don't know, try to run into. And so we do that, and we bounce off the walls. Border detection. Yeah, and that's basically it. And in the last one, we talked about how to use a function to determine whether or not there was a collision. And again, we're using the method of distance. So distance from the center of one turtle to the center of the other turtle. We just chose 20. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You would think about the actual size, but for our purposes, this will do for now. So what I want to do in this lesson is actually get the goal to move around a little bit, and that's going to be pretty simple. So basically, once we've created it, we have our turtle called the goal. It's a little red circle. It goes to a random spot, and just like with the player, we can just use the forward method. So I'm going to put a little comment here. So move the goal around, and so I'm just going to say goal dot forward. And we can have it move at the same speed, but let's have it just move at 1. So save that and run it. Of course, it takes a while to print that border. Okay, so you can see the default direction is to the right. Boom, so we have a collision. Okay, so what we can do at this point, that's a little bit boring just to have it start out to the right every time. So we can either always have it start out to the right. So what we can do is we can say goal right, and just use a random number. So random dot rand int. We want to turn from 0 to 360 degrees to the right. And let's try that. Ooh, error. Random. Random is spelled with an M, apparently. Let's try that again. Okay, so you can see it still jumped. Then it turned to a random direction. Oops, missed it. Never was very good at video games. Okay, so that's kind of working. Maybe we want to speed that up a little bit because that's a bit slow. But, so maybe 3. See how that goes. Okay, so let's see what happens. Actually, we should probably let that go a little bit. So you'll see, like, right off the bat, we're going to have a small problem. So I could try and catch up with it, but I'll let it go. So it goes right off the screen. So what we need to do there is the same thing that we did with the player, so the boundary checking. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to copy that and paste it. Okay, but in this case, instead of the player, we're going to use goal. So we just need to make sure we change all these. Goal, 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 goal. Okay, so again, we're just checking to see if the x-coordinate is greater than 300. We should probably actually make that a little bit less, but since we use 300, we'll stick with that. So make sure that it is, either over or under the boundary. It will turn around 180 degrees. Let's test that. Okay, so you can see how it actually goes kind of into that because we're testing if the middle of it is at 300. So it's working about as expected. Now if we change that to about 290, it would probably look like more of a natural bounce. Let's try that. And this would depend on the size of your turtle, but I know 290 works pretty well in this particular case. because the radius is about 10. Okay, so let's do it one more time. Okay, probably saw it there. So you can see how it looks like a bit more naturally. It's like it's actually bouncing off the wall rather than going into it. Okay, and I think that'll be all for this lesson. We'll keep this one short and sweet. The next lesson will be a bit more difficult where we take this and make multiple goals. There you have it.